So our topic here is the future of mobile data collection. When you talk about mobile, as Radha said, that smartphones, tablets, we talk about everything, wearables, all sorts of things. But it really matters is how we can actually reach end users or the respondents who's actually willing to take surveys or willing to get tracked. There's multiple opportunities here. Great bundle of opportunities because of the flexibility of the mobile, and we can reach people anytime, anywhere, and also the in-the-moment aspect of mobile using the GPS functionality and also the recall issue. The more and more you get to the moment of truth, the less the recall issue with people answering particular questions. So it's a great deal of opportunity, and all depends on how well you're going to actually use these different aspects of mobile and get the data you want so you can derive an actionable insights for brands and market research companies to actually do their own work to give a better results. I always say that no data is better than wrong data. So you have to be careful when we are actually designing a mobile study or mobile strategy. We have to have a combination of multiple things in order to be successful. Based on the accessibility of the mobile, we can go after people dining at a particular location or where you are, where they have been to in the past. So there's lots of different things you can do with mobile. But we don't have to use every single aspect, but still it's a very critical tool for us to get close to the moment of truth if somebody's doing something so we can get to know. So the idea is, when you look at it 10 years ago, when I started mobile development, you guys heard the USSD, SMS, mobile web, app. So still some part of the world is using USSD as a primary data collection. It's a very carrier dependability. In South America or South Africa, they're still using it, which are feature phones. But now the industry is actually moving towards more app-based, because you will have a one-on-one personal connection. You have internal notification you can notify people, and you can reach out to. So there's lots of different functionalities or capabilities that smartphone has. We can actually collect different sets of data. So the idea here is, I want to show you guys quickly how we went from 5 years ago, we have only few sets of sensors, and now it's actually 2015, and it's growing. And you have fingerprint, you have proximity, you have temperature data. So we don't have to necessarily use these sensors to actually collect data, but it's very useful if you start looking at deriving insights. How you want to actually segment different set of data on top of each other. Because that's what the brand wants, or the market researchers wants, how to actually give them the better answer to a particular business problem. So when we look at it, we always think, okay, mobile is just a combination of multiple things. In our case, panel, engagement, and technology, and advanced analytics. I mean, sure that lots of people are doing individual things. I mean, some companies are actually doing really good at technology, and some of them are really good in analytics, some of them are really good in panel. But what really makes sense is combining all 4 quadrants of things to get a better results. I mean, without the proper engagement, you're not going to get people excited about taking surveys. Without actually good people or high quality panelists, you're not going to get enough completes. So it's all interconnected to each other to have a better end results, or that means the insights that brands and market research companies actually needed. So I will go into detail of each quadrant, and I will go little detail into why, how we can actually do this to get a better successful insights. One of them is, when you look at the panel and we talk about representativity and balanced and global footprint, and SSI just launched a product called Proximity Sample, which I'll go into a little detail. So it's all important to actually have a good insights. The high quality people or highly rewarded people you have in your panel, the better results. And in the mobile panel is very unique. and you're going to find people like, okay, on the go, tech savvy, and you're not going to find those people in the regular panel recruitment. It's at least very hard to find those kind of people in the regular panel recruitment. So we, as a technology provider, we make sure that we put a lot of emphasis on the quality, high quality panel. And that's the most single bread and butter for any research, market research company, that you need to have a proper, high quality people that they're taking surveys. We have lots of things in place to make sure that people are not scamming the system. We have people that we constantly monitor, people who are actually speeders or doing fake surveys. So there's multiple ways to actually weed out those people out from the panel. So that's why we put a lot of emphasis at SSI to make sure that the panel that we have is high quality and very consistent. If you don't have a consistent data output, you're not going to get a good survey results. And also, one other thing that I mentioned before was the proximity sample. It's something that we just released, and we just came up with this one last week, and we've been working on this almost for a year and a half. You may ask, okay, why a year and a half? Because we've gone through several rounds of testing, market research, and we want to make sure that we are providing a value for market researchers and the brands to give the best results possible. And we have gone through several issues, and we learn from it. The more we do projects, the more we do pilots, we learn from it. I always learn from the mistakes. And we're not ashamed to say that, because we're always going to run into problems. And we also be very transparent with our clients. Okay, no, you're not going to get 1,000 completes in one day if you're targeting in-the-moment studies. So you have to set the expectations with your clients to make sure that mobile is great, but you have to position yourself as a unique data collection methodology that moment is the closest to the truth. So I want to actually focus on the proximity sample, which is becoming a very hot topic these days. And there's a huge gap in the industry that everyone is doing location-based targeting, but is everyone doing in the right way? Questionable, right? So we actually went to the drawing board, how we can define a fundamental panel composition, what makes the panel high quality. So we did lots of research, and we talked to a lot of people, and we came up with this idea, proximity sample, that we specifically recruit people on a mobile device. We don't even actually recruit people from the web. We specifically recruit users from mobile device, and they go through terms and conditions and privacy policy, and we make sure that we are legally binded with all the customer issues and et cetera, which we don't want to get into legal issues later. So we go through every step of the way, and we make sure, and we don't even care if people drop off, because we want to have a quality panel that we can guarantee a certain number of completes for market research and brands. So people download the app, and they go through the registration process, and then they become part of the proximity sample. Proximity sample is basically leveraging the smartphone capabilities, geolocation capabilities of the smartphones. So the idea here is that the architecture of the proximity sample is you join the panel, and then you download the app, then you go through the registration process, and then you agree to terms and conditions and privacy policy, and then you become this specialized sample group that we can actually target people at any location, anytime, anywhere. So that's kind of a unique segment from our regular panel build, but have all the quality control and blended technology built into it. But this specific sample that we created only to target people on the move. Now, the engagement. Engagement is the other key item when you talk about it. If somebody gets a survey, a 20-minute survey while they're shopping at Starbucks, they're never going to do it. It's not going to be possible. So we make sure that the app that we built is user-friendly, and also the surveys that we actually offer are easy to use, not 20-minute surveys, and we work with our knowledge team and to put together what are the best ways to actually people to take advantage of or engaged while they're doing something, because we're asking them a lot to do. If you're shopping at Home Depot, I mean, you're asking them to take a survey. It's a very big, huge ask for people to actually do. Either stop shopping and taking a survey. So we make sure we put a lot of emphasis on how people are going to get engaged or taking surveys. So the engagement is actually a key thing for us in order to do that. So when I talk about the engagement, there are a couple of items: app and the way we program surveys. App is, we call it Quick Thoughts at SSI. We have it in 19 countries, and it's an easy, user-friendly app. We actually have tested multiple times with multiple user groups, and we made sure that the app is fully functional, and we also timed it, how long somebody to actually get the survey and complete it. So we've done quite a bit of research and development to make sure that this app is very super user-friendly. When they get this when they get the survey, they can complete it quickly. And the second item is how you actually program a great survey. I mean, not everyone programs a survey, totally fine. But the problem is, how do we actually make sure that when we push out a survey, it's user-friendly and easy to read and device agnostic? I've seen over and over that in my career, still lots of surveys are actually not programmed specifically for mobile screens, not rendered properly, or flash, or there's boxes. If you have a scale, it actually goes through the screen. You have to scroll horizontally. So those are the things that we thought that poor user-friendly issues. So we came up with a tool called Quest Test. We made sure that we are detecting those problems, and we are alerting our clients, or we are alerting ourselves, and we can learn from it. And we've done quite a bit of research. Our knowledge team actually done research extensively to make sure that it's a huge problem in the industry. We talk about future technology, meter, diary, but we are still fundamentally, almost 50% of the surveys are not mobile friendly, even now. So that's where this tool actually helps us, everyone else, to actually make sure these surveys are properly formatted, and you will get the scorecard at the end, and whether your mobile friendly is eligible or okay to actually push it through a mobile device. And then lastly, the smart templates. We've developed a bunch of templates or modules that easy to drag and drop. You don't have to program every time there's a slider, or there is if you want to build a slider, we already have a pre-programmed slider module that is available for you guys to actually drag and drop, and that'll do the job for you guys. So we eliminate all the possible issues that you guys will have. And I know everyone is busy, so we make sure that you guys are, you guys are not spending a lot of your time. If you want to actually do DIY research surveys, we have a bunch of modules that we already built based on the research, and we actually offer to our clients. The next item is technology. I mean, everybody talk about technology. Everybody's wearables, survey research, behavior research. Everything is super great, super exciting, right? But survey research actually have still in kind of an infancy. And metadata, lots of great companies are doing in metadata, but most of them, even including us, we don't know what to do with it. It's a big bulk of data sits in the database. How do we actually translate that into actionable insights? So the power comes in when you actually do different set of data, and how do you combine, augment this data on top of each other? That's where you tell a story about somebody, day in the life of persona. How do you actually make sure that this person shopping at somewhere, searching for a particular, or showrooming a particular product at Best Buy? So there's very complex ways. It doesn't have to be complex. At the same time, that if you follow a fundamental, because we are basically asking us questions to answer, and we are making sure that they are doing that in a way that's easy for the respondents to do that. So as SSI, we actually came up with these 3 categories that we go after. We think that we've done quite a bit of research and market research to see what are the different areas we can actually use our technology. One, in the moment, we all know, and in the future, which is a mission, etc. A lot of great companies are doing the same thing, and also in the past. So in the moment is something that when you walk into a particular store, you'll get a notification saying, okay, we know you are at Best Buy or Starbucks. can you guys take a survey? So it's also a part of it's not the technology, even though we can target people at a certain location, but that's just a one piece of it. And then the engagement kicks in. And if the survey is actually 20 minutes long, nobody's going to take it. If the survey is not properly formatted, people aren't going to take it, or people are going to give you wrong data. So it's even though I put everything in 4-quadrant, it's all interconnected to each other to get a successful mobile study design and fielded. And the past is something that you can go back and look at what people have done or what locations they went to, and then you can create some sort of a persona, or you can overlay the past data into present or future and start coming up with the cool insights. And these are some of the examples of what we can do with survey data, right? I mean, barcode scanning is one of the cool examples. I mean, when you're defining or designing a questionnaire, you don't have to ask, say you're designing a questionnaire for a beverage manufacturer. You don't have to ask, okay, what sort of beverage you're drinking, or what size of can, or where did you purchase from. If you integrate the barcode scanning module into the survey, if they scan it, we can get the entire SKU from that scan results. So there are clever ways to actually do skip logics and eliminate number of questions. The fewer the question, the better, and the better response you're going to get. So, and you can ask to do an image upload. And we want to make sure that this person is saying is true, and we can say, if you want to go to a Starbucks, can you take a picture? So there are lots of clever ways to actually shorten the survey length and also get the better and quality data by doing so. And also the biggest question is understand the why behind what. I mean, everyone talks about why. I mean, I know people go and shop at Walmart. We don't know why. We have to actually ask them. They don't usually say the true answers, but we can also ask, and we can combine different modules into the survey questionnaire, and we can get the better results. And metadata collection, we all know, we talked about it, it's a new frontier. We can actually ask people to download it, and there's several separate privacy policy and terms and condition issues that we need to actually deal with, because we are collecting all sorts of data, how people are using their mobile phone, how many texts they're sending. Not the PII information though, but it's just a little bit of invasive for a respondent to actually install a meter and collect data. And what kind of apps they're using. And when you look at it, you see a story building. Like the more and more data you collect, the better the insight's going to be. And we call it 360 view of insights, somebody. So, I mean, there are new smartphones, and you can have a fingerprint technology. So these opportunities are endless. Lastly, the advanced analytics. Great. We have multiple sources of data coming from survey data, meter data, smartwatch data, but all this data is going to make sense for anybody to actually look at it. I mean, I've seen the set of data comes in. I have no clue what to make out of it, honestly. So it's like trillion bytes of data. So we should have a way to actually simplify that data so any human being, I can actually say, this person, in the day in the life of our persona, he's a coffee drinker. Basically, he's a Starbucks coffee drinker versus Dunkin' Donuts coffee drinker. Like that kind of differentiator is actually very useful for brands to make sure that, how they want to spend their marketing dollar. And be transparent. I mean, it's not going to be easy. I mean, I'm making it easy because I've dealt with lots of data sets. It's just not a pretty thing to go through. But there are tools that we provide that make sure that these huge chunks of data are coming into one database and slice them and dice them and say, okay, this is what we should actually look into. And you get a lot of garbage too. I mean, people, when you design a open-ended question, I mean, God, I don't even want to know what people write on the open-ended questions. So we need to actually clean those up, clean the noise, and we only get the real data that brand wants to actually make their decisions, because we all actually working to make sure that we are making the client happy and the market researchers happy. So if you provide them the right set of data to people, so they can do their job and they can come up with the right way to actually see how brands can spend their money. The more you segment or more you actually layer off different sets of data, it's better and more accurate. So when we actually add the behavioral data on top of the targeted data, now you started creating a story about somebody. Okay, I'm a heavy drinker, or I go to bar every day after 5 o'clock. So that's the kind of thing that is useful for a brand, a Heineken or a Diageo, to actually see, okay, I'm looking at this day in the life of a persona. How can I actually move my marketing dollar to specifically target somebody at a specific location with a specific media? So that's why, because brands are spending more and more money. They don't want to waste their money for just being, okay, you know what, we want to be mobile. They want to collect the quality data, and they want to actually target right people, not everyone, and they want to actually get the great insights. So that is a combination of all three brings the value to the brand owners or to make their own decisions, because we are helping them with the insights, with the mobile. So finally, I want to finish off with all my core quadrants. Again, even though I have these put in a different quadrants, these are all interconnected to each other. If you don't have a very efficient app, or if you don't have a properly formatted or user-friendly survey for people to take, you're not going to get the completes. If you don't have the right people in your panel, balanced people, properly balanced with the different demographics, income level, college degree, you're not going to get the right completes. So if you don't have the right technology to target, if you can't target somebody at a particular location, which means that you're not going to get the in-the-moment data, you're going to have recall issues. People are not going to remember. I don't remember what I did yesterday. I mean, I kind of did before the drinks, but not after. So the more and more you go after the people in the moment, the better results. That means the quality of the data is going to be a lot better. That means for the brands and market research companies, they can do their insights. They can recommend certain things. The next is analytics. Analytics is something I've spoken to almost everyone here, and real-time data is the hot topic, and it's a very complex topic. And you're doing a fielding for a particular brand, and you're getting results coming back. And how do you actually get that real-time data translated into a marketing director at a big corporation? And he or she not interested in looking at these Excel sheet or SPSS files coming up with the insights. So they want to see how their brand is doing, especially the Pepsi, how their commercials are actually working on a Super Bowl 2 years ago. So those are the kind of things actually comes real handy when you have a real-time data. It's powerful. And again, you cannot actually take individual item. These are all interconnected to each other. And at the same time, you have to have multiple things working with each other, with panel, with engagement, and technology, and the analytics. Without either one of them, okay, you can collect great mobile data, but it's going to be best the way that brand wants it. I doubt it. I mean, I'm making it easy. It's not easy as I say, but it takes time. It takes time to do research, and it also takes time to actually do how well your panels are, and the quality, security, legal. As our legal counsel, Ashlyn, talked about, legal is a major issue. We make sure that every piece of data we collect is valid. I mean, people are not going to come back and say, okay, you guys stole our data. No, we are the company that go through, we even actually put disclaimer on the page people take pictures. We want to make sure that every picture we take is actually people are consenting for that picture. Because we don't want to get into trouble later. I've heard lots of stories. We don't want to get into that trouble. We want to actually rather take the safest route than actually collect and satisfy the client and then get into trouble in the later. So that's pretty much it for my presentation. I know I went through quickly. If you guys have any questions, please feel free.